Loren, Zitomersky. Woo! He is running the 2018 Boston Marathon backwards. Literally backwards.
I mean, I've never seen somebody in LA running backwards.
Yeah. No.
Never.
Yeah.
Never. And that's why when people see me, their jaw just drops to the ground.
Maybe.
There's no warning on the outside, so I don't know how much alcohol is actually in here.
Ooh, so we may be in for a surprise.
I know, right?
He's got that Lindsay Lohan alcohol in there.
I mean, if you think about it, 1 in 26 people have epilepsy.
Yeah.
Think how many people you know in your life.
That's true.
Think how many people that you know that actually have told you they have epilepsy.
Yeah.
Probably very few, if any.
You're listening to JAMPACKED 105.9 K-Jam.
I'm on JAMPACKED. That shit is mad stack. I'm trying to see if I can get right back.
Welcome to JAMPACKED. I am your host, Jameela, and I have a crisscross kind of gem in the building. A backwards one, if you will, if you didn't get my little crisscross reference. Now, he is running the 2018 Boston Marathon backwards. Literally backwards. The entire race he's doing. So for y'all that don't know, a marathon is 26.2 miles, okay? I get gassed out doing 1 mile. So we're gonna have this. We've got quite a gem. He'll be running it backwards on April 16th to help end epilepsy while attempting the world record for the fastest marathon run backwards at 3 hours, 43 minutes, and 39 seconds. Correct me if I'm wrong, if you'd like. And which means that he would have to actually do it at an 8-minute, 30-second per mile average as his average pace. So last year in May, he actually qualified to run the Boston Marathon at the Mountain to Beach Marathon in Ojai, California, running it at 3 hours and 14 seconds. And he's doing this. His brother, Brian, passed away at the age of 17 after suffering...
Age of 7.
At the age of 7.
Yeah. He was 7 years
I'm
old.
sorry, what did I say?
17.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
Okay.
See, I'm so nervous because this is like, I'm so excited that you're here. He passed away at the age of 7, and you actually did not meet him.
No.
You actually didn't get to meet him.
It was in 1977 before I was born.
Yeah. And so he was suffering from nonstop seizures in his sleep, and that's why he runs backwards to end epilepsy. And he's currently raised, as of today, $28,616 so far to end epilepsy, with 30 days to go until the Boston Marathon. And he's been documenting his journey, the challenges, the fails, the injuries, the bacon eating, and the insane training. And for the local folks, you may have heard him on LA radio stations like K-Rock's Kevin and Bean Show, which is where I heard him, or AM 790 KABC Radio with Peter Tilden, or KNX 1070 as the helpful Honda hero of the week, or 102.7 Kiss FM, or even Coast 103.5. He's also been on CBS, KCAL 9, ABC 7, and in February, he was on The Ellen Show, and its sponsor, Cheerios, made a $2,500 donation where his employer, via the matching gift program that they have, matched that donation, bringing in $5,000 to get him started, and to bring him closer to his ultimate goal of $100,000. Oh yeah, I did a deep dive. And by the way, did I happen to forget, he's also an entertainment lawyer and preceptor. Is that how you say it?
Preceptor?
Yes,
for my law school.
For Walt Disney.
No, preceptor for my my law school.
Okay, so like for Pepperdine, for Pepperdine Law School. Okay, cool. But he also is an entertainment lawyer for Walt Disney.
Yep. Perfect.
And he is the backwards guy himself, Loren Zitomersky. Woo!
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I did a deep dive. I enjoy these. I really
great.
do enjoy
that's
these.
Great.
Yeah,
I like that. That was a good intro.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Like I'm really excited. And
awesome.
For y'all that don't know, he's doing the LA Marathon tomorrow, and he's over here dealing with our shenanigans on JAMPACKED the day before. So, and this is like supposed to be your rest day, right?
Yeah. No, this is a rest. This is a rest for me.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and that leads me to the next thing. So, in the spirit of resting, you are not going to be drinking alcohol, but you do have a little bit of kombucha.
Yeah.
which has been said to have a little bit of alcohol in it.
Maybe
perhaps,
a little bit.
maybe.
There's no warning on the outside, so I don't know how much alcohol is actually in here.
Ooh, so we may be in for a surprise.
I know, right?
He's got that Lindsay Lohan alcohol in there. But his drink of choice is actually LaCroix.
LaCroix,
See,
yes.
I've been messing it up since the very beginning. LaCroix. So he's drinking that, and to keep it spicy, I am doing a Stella Artois, some beer early in the afternoon. It's never too early to start drinking, especially in California.
I love Stella. It's one of my favorite beers.
Oh, awesome.
But it's funny, when I was in law school and I went to Europe, I'd order Stella, and people would be like, "You're American. Why are you drinking the white trash beer?" Because over there, it's like their Bud Light.
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny. It's just, They're like, "You want to drink a Bud Light, the fancy beer?"
Yeah, that's true. Like, where in Europe did you go?
All over. But I
Okay.
studied abroad in London.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, chip cheerio. Yes. I do. I have a certain affinity for London and the UK. Yes.
Yeah, me too.
But yes, that's so awesome. And my favorite European drink is actually Kronenberg. Have you had the Kronenberg?
Yes.
While out there? Yeah.
Yeah, where's that? What country is that?
It's, France mainly, but it's 1664 Kronenberg.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, really good.
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
like, yeah.
It's been a while, but yes, I like Kronenberg.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm so excited that you're here. So thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule, and also look out for him on Insider Edition.
Inside Edition.
Edition.
I taped it yesterday.
Okay.
It's my first national press, so I'm super excited. I don't know when it's going to air. It could air next week. Could air a little bit later, but it should be cool.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. By the time this one airs, it'll probably be not next Wednesday, but the Wednesday after.
Okay.
So by the time y'all hear this, he would have already finished the LA Marathon. And make sure that you check in with him on his Instagram. He documents everything from I love the little tub chronicles.
Oh,
He puts Reverend Run to shame on his bathtub moments, personal moments.
Well, I had to take a bath, and I wanted to do a video, so I decided to kill two birds with one stone.
I love it. I think you should keep doing those.
Okay. All
I
right.
noticed that you weren't doing those.
No,
Yeah.
I thought it was a little awkward, but
Yeah.
maybe I will do another one.
Yeah, you got to get, okay, so folks that really want to see it, like, get into your creeper status and just go all the way down. Just keep going all the way down to the beginning of the Instagram posts.
Maybe I'll
fun.
do it when I'm feeling emotional, so I'll be crying in the bathtub.
Yes.
Because I've cried in a couple of my videos. Or like,
Nice.
I tear
Yeah.
up. It's a very emotional thing.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. We were talking about that too. Just
Yeah.
running, it could be like a very emotional experience. And
Absolutely.
the extent of my long distance running is a half marathon that I did in Camarillo
great.
years ago.
Yeah.
But even then, it's, I was crying. Like, I was really in my feelings and my emotion.
Yeah.
And the way that I was telling you earlier is it really is more of like doing Bikram yoga. It's this new level of internalizing and having these revelations of sorts,
and pushing yourself kind of to the limit or beyond what you're used to.
Yeah.
And also your hormones are just all messed up.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
it's easy to cry.
Yeah.
I always figured if for an actor that has to cry on the spot, just go out and run 10 miles.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
then do the scene.
That's so true. That's perfect.
Yeah.
See, look
and
at
all
that.
all you have to do is think about Mustafa dying in The Lion King, and you'll just be bawling.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
See, look at that. You could also be an acting coach too. You're like, tap into your real true emotions.
Exactly.
Go do 10 miles and come find me.
Yeah, exactly.
We won't even have to tell you how to cry. It'll be natural tears of
Exactly.
pain. Sorry for spitting over there
No,
for
it's
those
okay.
that are catching it on YouTube. But so that leads me. So we've got the drink out of the way. So you're doing that. I'm doing the Stella. For those, you may hear my trusty dog Zora. She's doing her own thing right now, but she sometimes likes to cuddle with the guests. So you may hear her pitter patting around JAMPACKED Studios in our little room. You may hear her crunching or eating or just hanging out. So that is my trusty Chihuahua Papillon mix Zora, trying to make her way through. And so that leads us to our first game and the only game, because we are on a tight schedule, which is fine. because the podcasts really end up being way longer than they probably should be. But I enjoy the length. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
no pun intended. So we're gonna play so. And that is the noise filler game. So anytime you use so, like, or you have to take a sip of your drink of choice or a shot's worth.
But I
of
have
your
to
drink
call
of
you
choice.
out on it, right?
Yes. So
Okay.
we're using Zora's toy balls, these squeaky toy balls that she never uses. I promise she doesn't use these. And then we've got Brooke with the master official teddy bear squeaky dog toy as the official. So sometimes we might get really into the story. I am guilty of it every single episode. So I not only break the rules, but I forget to squeak it on myself and people. So, and Brooke had really great words of wisdom yesterday, which is try not to squeak it on yourself. Self accountability. You don't have to be so self accountable if you don't want to. But yes, so we're all clear on how the game works.
Yeah.
All right, we are in session.
Okay.
Before we get started, as far as the backwards portion of it, I really want to break down so people understand what all of this means and the importance of it. This was actually. Okay, so
You squeaked yourself.
I squeaked myself. I break my own rules.
What did you do? I missed it.
I don't want to say it
okay.
again. I don't want to say it again.
That wasn't a trap, I promise. I didn't notice.
He's like, oh, what did you say? I'm like, oh, you're an attorney at law. This is actually Brain Awareness Week. And that means that any one of us could actually have a seizure. And 1 in 10 will have a seizure in their lifetime.
Correct. 1 in 10 people have a seizure in their lifetime, which that doesn't necessarily mean you have epilepsy, because sometimes people have seizures after like a car accident or like some sort of traumatic experience, a concussion, and then they'll never have it again. Other people, sometimes they'll actually develop epilepsy due to some traumatic experience, but 1 in 10, which is crazy, crazy number.
Well, can you break down what epilepsy actually is and what having a seizure means?
Sure.
For people that just are kind of in the dark on all of it.
Well, I'm sure most people know, or when they think of a seizure, they think of, a spasming out.
Yes.
There's all different types of seizures. There's the classic kind of spasming out seizure. There's also, and I forget the name of it. Oh, did I do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, he's taking the kombucha.
There's seizures where people will just kind of zone out.
Yeah.
And a lot of times kids will have these seizures and they'll be misdiagnosed. The teacher will think. I did it to myself. The teacher will think that
I'm drinking for both of us.
that the child has ADHD.
Yeah.
And then maybe when they're older, they'll be diagnosed properly.
Yeah.
And having epilepsy is having 2 unprovoked seizures. So by unprovoked, I mean not having a car accident or a traumatic brain experience.
Yeah. He stared at his drink.
I do.
He stared at his drink and then...
I say a lot. This interview's going to take forever.
Don't worry, I'll still get you out of here by 12:30. Don't worry.
See, I just can't.
It's
I can't
all right.
stop.
It's all right. Keep going.
It messes with the brain.
Yeah, it's a grace period.
So 1 in 26 people have epilepsy, which is crazy. Or 1 in 26 will be diagnosed with epilepsy in their lifetime, which is an insane number. If you take all the people that have Parkinson's disease, multiple sclerosis, and cerebral palsy, and add them all together and multiply it by 2, that's how many people have epilepsy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, when you think of like a seizure or there's a difference between a seizure and like an asthma attack.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, but it's still kind of that body going into these spasms in a sense, right?
Yeah, I mean, epilepsy is neurological, so it's the brain.
Right.
Whereas like
right.
an asthma attack's
cardiovascular,
maybe.
Yeah, from the heart, the chest, or internal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We need
we're
a doctor.
doctors.
We're probably
doctors,
we're probably completely wrong.
Yeah, we're honorary doctors.
Yes,
too.
yes.
But yes, no, it is.
It's the brain.
More neurological.
Yes.
Okay.
And there's all different causes of epilepsy.
Yes.
It's a very wide spectrum, so it can be there's genetic causes, there's obviously traumatic brain causes.
Yeah.
And there's all different types of epilepsy. So it's a big spectrum.
Yeah.
And that's why it can be hard for some people to be treated.
Yeah.
About 30% of people with epilepsy, their seizures are uncontrolled.
Oh.
So about 70% are able to get seizures controlled through medication, diet, surgery, or a number of other treatments or a combination of those. Yeah. But 30% can't get their seizures under control, and they live their lives as best as they can, not knowing when they're going to have their next seizure.
Yeah.
A lot of them can't get a driver's license because, there's state laws about, you can't get a driver's license after having a seizure in a certain period of time.
When they're going to have it next.
Which sucks, but it makes sense. There have been high-profile cases of people having seizures and crashing their car and killing people. But, that's part of the reason why epilepsy is so stigmatized. People don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, 1 in 26 people have epilepsy. Yeah. Think how many people you know in your life.
That's true.
Think how many people that you know that actually have told you they have epilepsy.
Yeah.
Probably very few, if any.
Yeah.
And so people keep it, they keep it in the closet, they don't want to talk about it. Yeah. And it's because of the stigma that's still attached to it.
Yeah. Yeah. That actually leads me to my next question is that there is that stigma and you talk about that a lot on your, I'll squeak it on myself. I'll take another shot. Yeah. Fuck you, Brooke. But you talk about that being underfunded.
Absolutely.
And that there is the stigma. What are some of the stigmas? And you kind of alluded to a little bit of some of those stigmas, but what are maybe some other stigmas that come along with epilepsy? What the stigma that's attached to epilepsy?
So the stigma with epilepsy actually dates back to the Bible. There's passages in the Bible that refer to, they weren't called seizures, but they were referring to seizures as being demonic possession or some sort of demonic element there. Yeah. So it dates back so long ago because it obviously wasn't understood then. We have a scientific understanding of it now. And I think, the stigma exists because seizures are scary, Yeah. If anyone's ever seen someone having a seizure, it's a tough thing to watch, especially like if it's a grand mal seizure. Yeah. Which is kind of a very dramatic, scary thing. And so I think people are afraid of what their coworkers will think, what their friends, what their family will think. Yeah. And since I've, announced that I'm doing this backwards marathon for epilepsy, I've had this outpouring of messages of support from people with epilepsy and people affected by epilepsy. Yeah. And sometimes it's heartbreaking. Like people will tell me their whole life stories. Some woman wrote me a message about how her family is ignoring the fact that she has epilepsy. The family doesn't even want to acknowledge it because for whatever reason, they're scared of it. And so she's not able to get the proper treatment because of that fact, which sucks. Yeah. Which sucks for her. So, I've learned so much in the last few months just from people sharing their stories with me about the stigma that's attached to epilepsy.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, are there certain things that maybe we can look out for that might let us know you might be considered also being epileptic or having epilepsy or having these seizures? Are there things that we can look out for that you know of?
I think knowing seizure first aid is important because, it's possible that you could be, in a situation where somebody's having a seizure and there's a lot of misinformation out there. So I think the biggest, and I hate to use this term, fake news that's out there about seizure first aid is to put something in their mouth. That's like an old wives' tale.
I have heard that. Yeah.
It's very common. And people usually say, stick a spoon in their mouth because they're going to swallow their tongue. Yeah. Well, it's physiologically impossible to swallow your tongue in any situation. Yeah. So I don't know where that came from, but you don't stick something in someone's mouth when they're having a seizure.
That just sounds like a bad idea to begin with, but that's so true because now that you bring that up, that's so true. Yeah. Because I've heard people say, just, put something or, watch their tongue or figure out what, put something in their mouth. But that's so true.
And, I'd be curious to know why people think that. Maybe it dates back to some old movie or something. Who knows? But, when somebody's having a seizure, it's actually very simple. You want to time it. Yeah. Because if it goes longer than 5 minutes, you want to call 911. Right. Or you want to, if there's a doctor around, they need medical care. Right. Usually it doesn't last for that long. Right. You want to make sure, you want to lie them down if they're not kind of on their side. Mm-hmm. And you want to get anything out of their way that they could injure themselves with. don't start putting food or water into their mouth unless they're conscious and they're asking for it.
Yeah. He's such a good sport. Thank you so much. He's been hitting that kombucha, and I'm just drinking beer. Like we're having,
and basically, you just want to make that person as comfortable as possible and let them go through finish their seizure, and hopefully they're going to be okay.
Yeah. And for just a reminder, we're not doctors. Neither one of us are doctors as much as, we'd like to, or, and Loren has done a lot of research, and you work closely with the Epilepsy Foundation of Greater Los Angeles. But could it be in our genes? Like if it's someone that we're related to that is epileptic, can we also be susceptible to possibly having seizures as well?
Yes, there is a genetic component for certain types of epilepsy, but not all types.
Yeah.
So it all depends. And I think, more and more research is being put into the genetic component of epilepsy. And, we're probably only breaking the ground right now as to that. But it's possible in the future you'll be able to screen for certain types of epilepsy.
Yeah. That would be incredible.
Yeah.
To be able to screen and treat
specifically towards, certain types or whatever gene you have that is causing the epilepsy. That would be great.
Yeah, that would be incredible. Yeah, I mean, and you and your dad have actually been raising money to end epilepsy, including doing a bike ride together from Tacoma, Washington to Los Angeles, which was 1,426 miles, which at that time in 1999 was your third time doing it. And you guys actually raised, I'm going to squeak it on myself, you guys actually raised $18,000 that year.
Yeah.
And that's incredible. And since 1997, you and your dad have raised over $275,000 for people and families affected by epilepsy. On those days with the ups and downs of training in general to do extreme things, you're doing from bike riding to now running backwards, doing a marathon backwards. How has your brother's passing inspired you to continue and go bigger each year?
So I never met Brian. As I said, he passed away in 1977 before I was born. I've heard, my dad has told me all about Brian. He was a great student. He was a really good kid. He had a very bright future. I feel like Brian's memory lives on in the people that I've met over the last 21 years of volunteering and raising money and awareness for epilepsy.
Yeah.
And I've met just so many, I can't even begin to guess how many people I've met that have epilepsy or have kids with epilepsy or otherwise affected by epilepsy.
Yeah.
And I feel like Brian lives on in those people. And so, I'm doing this in memory of Brian, but I'm doing it for all these people I've met over the last 21 years and the people that have reached out to me in the last few months since I announced what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And it's very inspiring. All these people are very strong and some of them have very difficult lives that it's hard for me to, imagine the struggle that they go through.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And backwards running, AKA reverse running and retro running, actually has a following in Europe, which that was a very interesting thing for me to learn.
I've never seen somebody in LA running backwards.
No.
Never.
Yeah.
Never. And that's why when people see me, their jaw just drops to the ground. But when I came up with this idea after searching the Guinness website for, a marathon world record, and I stumbled upon this and I said, all right, this is doable. I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
I've done a bunch of research and, I found out there's a world championship of backwards running in Europe.
Yeah.
There's a following there.
Yeah, I saw that. There's like in the UK, they have like an annual 1 mile
race,
run.
I think if you go on YouTube, you can actually find videos of some of these races. And it's hilarious because it's like, when it's me running backwards, it's like, all right, that's interesting. That looks funny. But when it's like 100 people running backwards towards the camera, it's like...
It's got to be incredible. They need you as like an honorary guest.
Hopefully, maybe I'll go out there. That would be cool, yeah.
Oh my gosh. And you'd be like the host, and just speaking to them, just with your back face to them, all of my fellow backwards people. What is some of the preparation that you've kind of had to do?
So since last June, when I made the decision that I was going to do this, I have run and I need to go back and tally it up, but it's over 550 miles backwards.
Yeah.
Which is just what is that? Like that's like the distance from San Francisco to Los Angeles that I ran backwards from San Francisco to Los Angeles over the last 8 months. And then like when I really kicked off my training in December, I think it's like 450 miles. I think it's a lot of miles, a lot of miles. And
you train like on the treadmill in the mountains. I mean, it seems like there's really nothing's off limits for you.
Except the streets. I try to avoid the streets, try to avoid cars.
That's probably
anywhere that I could run into like a moving vehicle or other people or
running into
objects
trees,
or like where the ground's uneven. I try to avoid, but I've learned treadmills are a good place to run backwards.
Okay.
I don't have to look behind me, which is always good. It's good for the neck.
Yeah.
I run around Griffith Park a lot because there's some wide horse paths and the trails are pretty good there. But it's funny. It took me like 550 backwards miles to realize running tracks are actually great. I never even thought of it. Yeah. So I've now done 2 backwards workouts at the running track, and I'm like, why didn't I think about this before? There's like I can just run around in circles. There's not many people, so I think a lot of my training in the next month might be at a running track.
Yeah, that's awesome. And normally your friend is actually going to be your spotter at the marathon. But for tomorrow, your wife, you said, is doing a little bit of the spotting as well?
My wife's going to run 10 miles with me. And she's running forwards, me backwards. And then another friend of mine that works at Disney, he's going to do another 10 miles with me as a spotter.
Nice.
And the spotter is very important.
Okay. And before we let you out of here, what is kind of the duty of a spotter?
To make sure I don't crash into somebody or I don't trip over something. But basically, it's to act as the eyes in the back of my head.
Yeah.
So like Jim, who's my spotter for Boston, he stands kind of in front of me or behind me, depending on which way you're kind of turned around. But and he runs forwards and he can see the course, and he will also tell me right, left, sharp turn coming up in 100 yards.
Yeah.
So then I don't have to constantly turn my head back around, and he'll like literally kind of just physically grab me and move me a little bit to redirect me.
That's awesome.
Especially if I'm like tired and delirious. Yeah. So it's very important.
Yeah.
And I've fallen before. I ran into a tree.
Yeah.
It's been an adventure to say the least, and it's been a struggle. It's been quite the struggle, but I'm feeling good and healthy right now, which is what's important.
Yeah, and I love that you document your day to day, like what your average pace is, for that training day. That's you really feel like we really truly are on this adventure with you. Is there maybe possibly, I don't know, maybe a live stream that we can follow or watch, or
for the race?
For your spotter, maybe like a headband, GoPro.
He's gonna have a GoPro on his head.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
And also we're gonna do the GoPro tomorrow during the LA Marathon too.
Nice.
So I'm gonna upload it. Yes. I mean, I want to film the whole race, but nobody wants to see.
I finally got it.
I'll kill the.
I'll drink it with you too.
Nobody wants to see, 4 hours, or maybe I don't know exactly how long it's going to take, but no one wants to see like 4 hours of me running backwards. Yeah. But I think I'll just speed it up to like 2 minutes.
Nice.
So it's going to be really quick.
Or at least have an idea of like, this happened at this time or whatever. Yeah.
Hopefully there's nothing too good in there, like me falling or
No, definitely not falling. We're sending good vibes, but like the victory, the victory run, the crossing the finish line.
Yeah. And for the LA Marathon tomorrow, because it's just a practice long run, I can stop and take a few breaks. If we have to stop for whatever reason, it's not a big deal at all. But for the Boston Marathon, it's like no stopping. Yeah. I even told Jim, I was like, I'm gonna have to go to the bathroom at least once during the race. And Jim's like, no. Yeah. No, you're not taking a bathroom break. Yeah. He's like, you're gonna have to figure this out. So I'm like, all right. I'm not gonna pee myself, so we might have to take a break, but
that's all right.
It's okay.
I feel like that really is truly that's a lot of preparation. You've already done a lot of preparation.
I have.
And is that my door? Yeah. Oh wow. All right. Well, I guess we'll see who that is. But what happened? Oh my goodness. She's just been hanging out.
Did she leave?
Zora, what?
Was she outside?
I thought you were inside, Zora. Brooke, didn't she come in? Awesome.
Or
Well, thank you so much for stopping by, and I appreciate it. Zora, thanks for stopping by as well. For coming back home.
Yeah, thanks for not getting hit by a car, Zora.
Exactly. And I thought I heard barking, but I was like, what? I was like, why is there barking? Zora's here. But, we should have known her nosy butt would have been in here.
I missed her.
Oh, my neighbor
She
Tom.
could have been cuddling with me the whole time.
So shout out to neighbor Tom returning Zora and her ignorant ways back to us.
She's very cute.
Oh, thank you. Before you get out of here, can you leave us with some words of wisdom?
Any words of wisdom?
Any words of wisdom that you have for the people?
Yes. So when I decided that I was going to do this last June, it was like it felt like a very lofty goal.
Yeah.
But I committed to it. I said, I'm going to do this. I told my wife. She thought I was crazy.
Yeah.
I think my wife and my parents probably didn't actually think I was going to follow through with this.
Yeah.
And I've gone through, it's been a struggle. It's been, I've injured myself. There's been a lot of issues with the backwards running over the last 8 months.
Yeah.
And there have been times where I've thought about quitting.
Yeah.
Which is the easy route. But I've stuck with it.
Yeah.
Even through the injuries and the ailments and other things that have happened. And, I'm glad I did. And, for people out there that, want to set some sort of lofty goal, I say go ahead and do it. You can always adjust that goal in the end.
Yeah.
But, it's been very fulfilling to me, the fact that I've stuck with this and that I'm pursuing this. And, hopefully I'll break the Guinness World Record.
Yeah.
But, if I don't, I'll be okay with that.
Yeah.
But it's just been such a great experience. And, it really means a lot to me that, I'm able to get so much awareness out there for people affected by epilepsy. And, it's been a great experience so far.
That's incredible. That's incredible. And Brooke, do you have any words of wisdom?
Don't run into a tree.
Yeah, don't run into trees.
Don't run into a tree. And man, I don't know. I was caught up in epilepsy, learning about that. I'm gonna research that more.
Yeah.
Because I think I did know somebody who had it, but they never really
talked about it.
They never talked about it at all.
Yeah.
But quick words of wisdom. It's the weekend. Have a good time today. Relax. I'm sorry. I'm my camera went out on me over there.
That's all right.
Okay, all right, yeah. So my words of wisdom would just follow your dreams and your goals and make sure that you put a plan of action towards it. And I feel like Loren is a great example of that. Set a goal and make it happen and work hard and don't be afraid to work hard and don't be afraid to enjoy the journey of the ups and downs of the entire process, and the victory is going to be that much sweeter. So we wish you the best of luck.
You.
And we at JAMPACKED, even though we're a little bootlegged here, we're bootleg production. We are going to make a donation to End Epilepsy.
That.
So we'll do that online. Yeah. And how can the people reach you and also make a donation as well?
So I have a website set up. It's bostonbackwards.com. So it's easy to remember. Boston Backwards.
Yeah.
And on there you can find my links to social media. But if you just want to go directly to Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, you could just search Backwards Guy or Boston Backwards and you'll find me. And I'm having a good time, posting photos and videos and I'm trying to document this crazy journey as much as possible.
Yeah.
In an entertaining way, I guess.
It is very entertaining. From the violin, and he's like running backwards.
That was a fun video to make.
Yeah, that was awesome. And then there's like video of you running the lot at Disney, and it's. Trust me, the videos are very entertaining.
Thank you.
they're very well done. And Brooke, how can the people reach you?
Way Up Brooke on Instagram, Snapchat. Way Up Brooke.
Perfect.
Nice.
And if you didn't catch any of that, check us out at JAMPACKED Show on Instagram, Twitter. Check us out on YouTube as well as Facebook /JAMPACKED Show. Or just check it out. Check us out on our website, jampackedshow.com, where you can also reach out to Loren and to Brooke. And don't go sliding into Loren's DMs, okay? He's a married man. He may look like Clark Kent himself, but he wants nothing to do with y'all. So don't slide into his DMs if y'all are not trying to interview or end epilepsy or donate. So on that note, thank you so much for stopping by.
That was fun.
And check us out every Wednesday. Jam-packed show, all up in that ass. We all up in there, jam-packed every Wednesday. Check us out every Wednesday. iTunes, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and we are working on Spotify. So make sure you check us out every Wednesday, and we will see you on the next Jam Packed.
Yeah. That's fun.
We got the homeless saying, y'all better come my way, y'all better come my way, okay, and say, y'all better come my way, I'ma make a statement day by day, y'all better come my way, y'all better come my way, okay, and say, y'all better come my way, I'ma make a statement day by day. Peace out, up, put them in the air,